Ba-da-ba-da-bum. Da-da-da-da-da-da. I did it on purpose. Hello, guys. How are you guys doing? Hold on, let me go sit on down here. Let me sit on down. Alright. Hey, guys. How are you doing? My name is Kat. I'm a mess right now, but I don't care. Spyro reference right here, but this is also another reference to Uncharted, because we're finding the booty. Hello, everybody. My name is Kalcha, and welcome back to Miscut Squad. And guys, welcome back to my couch, where we're talking about anything as friends. Sit down on your couch, grab a couple of snacks, and let's get talking. Alright guys, so today we're going to be talking about how gaming certainly does affect your personality. This dawned on me the other day. You know why? Because as you guys know, I've been playing The Last of Us for the longest time now on this channel, and it really did take over my life in a sense. Now if you were to compare me in the first, I want you guys to do this as a test. Look at me when I first played The Last of Us, and then look at me to the end of our Last of Us Let's Play. I've matured as a human being. I for one, do feel as if I did really mature as a human being ever since I did start playing The Last of Us. And the reason I see that is because this happens with so many different people out there. Any type of gamer that there is, and any type of human being that there is, we, as human beings, grow, change, and become better versions of ourselves as we get older. Now, the thing is here, though, is what I've noticed is how gaming certainly does change our personalities in a way. It also does change our way of thinking. Now, for example, since I've been playing The Last of Us for the longest time, I have been every time I go to build something. Yeah, because Mama works out. You know, Joel goes onto the tool bench, all right, and he's at the crafting bench, and he's like, all right, let's see. Put something on here, all right. Let me go and craft something, like upgrade my guns or upgrade my bow and arrow. You know, he goes on there, starts upgrading it, and then after he's done. Alright, and he's like, here we go, or that'll work, with that tone of voice, and also what he says, like, alrighty, or here we go, or that'll work. I have been saying that so much now, it's not even funny. Like the other day, when I built this setup, I was like, alrighty, here we go, that'll work, and then it dawned on me when I started setting this up, we, as the gamers, not only do games change our life, but it changes our personality. Because I never once said that. I was never like, alright, here we go, that'll work. I never said any of that until I did start playing The Last of Us. Another thing I like to do, which always is in the back of my mind, is you know how Tess and Ellie and Joel and everybody, they always carry around a flashlight and they're shining it in certain directions? Well, a matter of fact, and this has been going on since I started playing The Last of Us, whenever I go out to our garage and the lights don't work in there, the lights are gone. There's no way the lights can work unless you actually lift up the garage. When I go into our garage, I'm shining the light, and I'm all yeah. And always in the back of my mind, I'm like, is there gonna be a cooker? Is there gonna be a bloater? I hope there's a bloater. It is always in the back of my mind because of The Last of Us. And I never would have thought of that, because you know how they're literally shining their light, I do that now. So if I ever meet any of you in person, okay, and we're maybe there's a fun thing at a convention and there's something to go through a maze or anything, and we have flashlights, or do a flashlight tag, we'll use that example. Instead of me chasing people around, okay, I'd be like this. Joel, what about over there? Okay, so another thing is definitely how not only just does it affect your personality, but it also affects your style. So, if you go back into the archive of Miscut Squad when I first started with gaming and everything, you've noticed that I was a completely different person, even though I am growing my hair out like that again. I'm making it longer now, but my goal is to get it down here, but also shaved. You guys get my gist here. You guys can picture that, can't you? When I first started gaming, my style was different. I was different. I never really got into gaming that, as what I really love until I was, played Life is Strange a few years ago. And when I started playing Life is Strange, you'll notice from the first one to the last, my way of style changed. Not just my looks, not just my hair, and as you guys know, there's blue here now, and that's also because of Chloe Baby. That is why. But also, the way of talking. Now, again, with Joel, I always said, here we go, that'll do, alrighty. I say hella a lot, and I know that is something a lot of people from California say. They say hella a lot, but I'm not from California. I'm from the East Coast, and I'm getting ready to move the heck out of here, because I'm done with the East Coast, because it's too freaking cold for me and my whole family. We're done here. We're done. I never said hella once, okay? I never said wowzers, alright? Another thing is I never said wowzers, and now everything that they said, are you for cereal? Wowzers. Hella? Oh my, like anything that those two girls said, I would end up saying. Amazeballs. So as you guys notice, even on social media, sometimes I answer your tweets and I'm all like, that's amazeballs or wowzers. Even for the company that I do work for putting out tweets, and I'm their social media manager, I put out things sometimes and don't even realize it until it's too late, and it says wowzers. So if you guys ever really want to know where I work and where I do the social media work, just let me know. Because a few years ago, if you were seen with a Game Boy in public and you were in your 20s, people would be like, what the hell, man, get a real job, or what the hell, man, why are you playing Pokemon for? Like, first of all, I'm in my 20s, okay? And this is my child, okay? I'm never letting him go. What I've noticed with certain people, like I know you guys actually said to me that, is it weird for me to take out like my gaming console and play it by the train station or somewhere, something like that. I know one of you guys did say that. And you know, it shouldn't be weird. And a few years ago, a lot of people would consider it weird if you're like a 20, 30, 40-year-old playing a video game, and it's like, why should that be weird? You know? Video games have been, as I've noticed from you guys, they helped you with your mental health. They helped you with dealing with a lot of problems in your life. They also helped you overcome a ton of crap that got thrown at you.
This scene in The Last of Us has always, it always hit close to me. Despite it being the less, most action-packed scene, I feel like it's the most impactful, you know? I'll explain why. It's like despite everything Joel and Ellie have been through within this game, they managed to find one good thing out of a bad situation. Like, despite fighting off waves and waves of infected and hunters and bandits and stuff, they've managed to find peace. I feel like that teaches a lesson. That lesson being is, despite everything that you're going through right now, despite any type of stress you're going through, there's always going to be some sort of good that you can find. And if someone like Joel can go through 20 years of an apocalypse and manage to find peace, then you can too.
Gaming for me means a time of relaxation, a time to have fun and make new memories, discover new things and possibly try and learn more lessons from them, even for real life. It can be very eye-opening and especially comforting. It can take you away. You can do many things you can't in real life and just feel right at home. It can unlock so many opportunities like making new friends, new artwork, new mindsets, etc. It's such a beautiful thing to me, and it's another form of art. Art is a universal language that we can all connect to and take different things from. I love it and all the wonderful things that can be produced from it all.
I think gaming means so much to me because growing up as someone with autism, it's very hard for me to connect with people and understand emotional situations. That's probably why I became such a big fan of game series like Mass Effect and Dragon Age, and especially Life is Strange coming out just a few years ago at a very important time in my life. Got me to just feel things. It's really hard for me to describe. I imagine it is for quite a lot of other people. And also, I love playing games with character creators because being a trans woman, I was just able to express myself in a way that I couldn't really do for quite a long time in real life. And the past few years, I'm now actually living my dream, living my life as who I really want to be, and it's just absolutely fantastic.
So, hi, my name's Curtis. I'm from Ireland, and for me, video games and gaming communities and everything revolved around gaming is 90% of my life. I absolutely adore them. The main reason being, when I was 14, I lost my best friend to suicide, and all of the emotion and everything that was happening was too much for me to handle. So I played video games. I was introduced to video games a lot at that point, and that took away that feeling of depression and loneliness and just made me feel better, and that sucked me in and made me completely addicted to them. And games like Life is Strange and The Last of Us have just completely changed my life. And that is why I adore video games and love them, and I love what you do. And you, Miss Cat, have changed my life. I find your videos at a really specific time, and they stop me from doing some stupid things, so I thank you.
Hey Miss Cat Squad, I'm David, the memory hunter from the Discord chat. This video is going to be about what gaming means to you. First of all, I would say gaming is my life. It's just more than games. Like, it isn't just supposed to, for me, the games are just to be played. They mean so much more to me rather than spending time to entertain yourself. I'll just tell you a story how it all started about me. So when I was age of 4, I went to my mother's work, and I saw one of her co-workers playing it. Actually, I didn't mention that my first game was Underground 2, Need for Speed, and I was so excited about to see like you can drive cars in PC. I was like, yeah, I want to do it too. I told my mom to buy me a computer too, so she bought me a cheap one because actually there weren't so like really modern PCs out there. So I downloaded the game and I played like almost all day long after I came from my kindergarten and later on from school. I just like enjoyed it so much, and also I spent most of the time sitting at the computer, but my parents were like, go out in the yard and play with the kids, play football, do something. I was like, I'm not interested in that. This is more fun, really. And I wasn't totally like that because it was just about my school, which really made me sit at the computer because I really didn't have time to go out and play there, because it took me so much time to complete my homework, so I just had to sit at the computer and play. But when the holidays came, I was always down there playing with the kids, with my best friends. And so yeah, basically after that, when I was when I turned 9 years old, I found out that these games were made out of something. They weren't just things that you just clicked and ran and then you could play. There were so many files behind it. I was like, what are these? Like, I wanted to know that, and I asked my mom, and she told me that these were codes. So apparently were just the codes. There were textures and models too. I was like, I want to also know how these things are made, and I actually that gave me like, how to say, courage to learn coding. And since that, I searched many tutorials on YouTube and did simple things on Notepad. For now, actually, it really is my not just hobby. Programming is my future career. And see how it all started, from games into coding into your future career. That's just crazy, right? Games just didn't give me that. Games gave me memories. Games gave me so many hobbies, like not only programming, like I started drawing. It has been like 8 months already since I've made my first portraits, since like the last time I drew was I did like Sonic and Shadow drawings, but after that I didn't do any of them. I just randomly started 8 months ago, and now I'm here. So basically, yeah, games are more than just a game for me. They brought me so many memories, so many friends like you, and these are amazing. Like, if you actually just try to find more than the meaning of the game, you will find so many more like I did. Yeah, that was just basically it, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, till the next time, bye.
My name is Lene Hudson, and I'll be talking about some of the ways that gaming has affected my life. A big way that gaming has affected my life is through helping me through a lot of hard times. There are a lot of characters that I have both seen and played that I can relate to more than I can even say, especially in a lot of the games that Katja, I really hope I pronounced that right, Katja has played. Please tell me if I did. I really don't want to get it wrong, so hopefully that's it. There are a couple of characters, particularly in Life is Strange, that I really can relate to the point where it's not even funny. And through seeing a lot of their story, I had help in certain areas in my life. I don't want to say too much as far as spoilers, but there is a character who has lost so many people, the closest people in her life, really. And I can relate to that a lot more than I would ever want anybody to. I'm wearing right now some of the clothes that I got from my loved ones, and a lot of things have happened over the years. A dear loved one of mine, part of his funeral, his repast, and the burial was on my 18th birthday. I was really close to losing my mom on my 19th birthday, and I've lost over 5 close loved ones, even before I graduated from high school a couple of years ago. So seeing some of the things that this particular character did to cope, it really struck me, because it was almost like seeing myself in certain parts. And then there was another character, again, I'm not going to try to do spoilers, but there was a part where in episode 3, I believe, there was probably episode 2, it was a really tough part for anybody who played it, because there were 2 outcomes for this character, and it would forever affect the game and usually whoever played it. And the first time I had ever seen it done, it was about 3 years after the game had come out, and a YouTuber, even though they made a lot of good choices up until that point, they did not do the right actions for this one, and it resulted in the really bad outcome for that character. And I was so devastated, I could not sleep that night. I considered not even finishing their playthrough of the game. I considered barely even watching some of the videos, because it was just that hard, because I could relate a lot to her too, and so in a way that made it even more painful, because again, I can see myself and certain parts of myself in these characters, and that makes it so much more personal and so much more painful when certain things happen to them. But this same game though, I had looked for other playthroughs to watch, and I came across Miscat Squad. I am really glad that I did. I only wish I had found her channel sooner, honestly. And thankfully she was able to get the good outcome with this character, and I could not tell you how hard I cried in pretty much happiness, because this character did not deserve a single thing that she went through, especially not that part. So it was emotions and feels all around, I will tell you. And I could say that a way that gaming changed my life was introducing me to the Miscat Squad and the friends I have found there. Because even though we may have never met in real life, even if we don't end up meeting in real life, there are people here that I can genuinely call my true dear friends. And I wouldn't trade that for anything. And there's another part that really affected me and still affects me, is just how much Katja can understand people and the characters and all that they're going through. Sometimes I can be really good at reading people, but there were things that I would have had no clue about if I hadn't found her videos and her perspective on a lot of the games that she's played, and I am more than looking forward to the games that she will and what she'll think of those. And she has honestly inspired me, and how she continues to go on even though she herself has suffered loss, and they were really close to her before. All the tributes that she has of them is absolutely beautiful, and I'm inspired that she keeps going no matter how hard it is, no matter how many different game scenes have reminded her of different parts of her past with them. She continues to go on, and that takes a lot of strength. That takes so much. Thank you, Katja, for all that you have inspired me with, and more. Another way that gaming has inspired me is through the music. I have loved music pretty much my whole life. I was in orchestra for 5 years. I was in band for 1, and I'm still pursuing music. And no matter what career I have in life, I will always enjoy and pursue music. And the way that the composers can they put so much emotion into their work that you can't imagine the scene without it. Even if you couldn't even see the scene, you could probably know what's happening because that's just how much they put in there. And playing some of that music has given me some of the best memories I've ever had. There are a lot of extremely talented orchestra mates that I had over the years, and there's one in particular. She arranged a whole medley of video game songs, both old and new, and I can promise you so many people can get nostalgic from it, I promise you. I know the audience did that night. And it was great not only to play the things that I have heard so much from my childhood, but to be able to be introduced to even more, and be able to play it with people I can also call my friends, for sure. And there was even another song that we ended up playing. It was the theme from Halo, and I'm not going to say it wasn't hard to do, but once you get the hang of it, it can be really fun. My section may have had to do 30 measures of tremolo, and if you don't know what that is, I might be doing a cover one day on YouTube where it will use that technique, or you can try to look it up. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. But it's already a little difficult to do for a couple of measures, or like 10 or so, but it was 30. And that was not the only song we played those days in practice, and we played a couple more songs all the way through and went back to the parts we needed to do and went all the way through again. So it was difficult, but it was fun. I have to say it was fun though. And the fun that I had playing some of the games throughout my life has really affected me. No matter how much I was going through, how hard things had gotten, how much had happened throughout the time, I can say that there were so many different games that have really taught me things, have really allowed me to have fun and let loose, and have inspired me in my writing and some of my music too. And speaking of which, thank you, Katja, for your song and your reading of my last poem from the last Squad Shutout video. It was awesome. It's still one of my favorite things ever, and just thank you. It means a lot. It also means so much that you pronounced my name right too. I had the absolute biggest smile on my face. I even did a victory dance for a little while. It was just that great. So fist bump for you, and to all my other friends and family who do a very good job at that too. But those are a few reasons and a couple of different ways that gaming and different aspects of a game have changed and affected my life forever. I hope it continues to do so forever. And I am so excited to see what everything has in store for the Miscat Squad, gaming in general, and even more aspects of that. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I hope you can embrace your inner fangirl and inner fanboy every day. Have a good one.
From when I was 9 years old and I was playing Spyro in my basement, when my basement was still my basement because my basement now is completely ruined because of a flood. I remember those days just sitting on the couch. I would have some snacks with my sister, and we would just play Spyro the Dragon for hours. I would do the characters' voices, I would have a ton of fun with it, make a lot of songs, as you guys notice. How I'm playing video games now, it dawned on me. That's exactly how I used to play them when I was younger, and I'm pointing over my desk because that's where I play my games, right over there. And I realized something a few years ago when I was deciding what I wanted this YouTube channel to become. My most fondest memories was when I was downstairs, and my family and I, we don't have a lot, but I had that game. I had the PlayStation, and I would play Spyro the Dragon, and it washed away our problems. It washed away all the bad thoughts I was having when I was a 9-year-old and I had bad thoughts. And just to be able to live with those characters and remember that, and then to realize that that's what led up to the moment. Like, even I remember playing Hamtaro, Pokemon, naming them the most random names, and then Animal Crossing, and everything from like Nintendo. It really made me realize that gaming is what made me a very happy person. When I was like 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, I stopped gaming. You know, I played Game Boy and an app every now and then, but I stopped it. And I was a very miserable person. with myself and with everybody around me. I was selfish. I was narcissistic. I was cruel. Yes, me. I was, and you don't know that person. I'm glad you don't, because those were flaws that I am not proud of. Those are things that I am very not proud of in my life. Video games help us like escape from reality. They help us live in characters' shoes. And they help us better ourselves, learn lessons from these characters who take us on this journey. If a young kid is playing something for older people, that's fine. If an older person is playing something for young kids, like Minecraft or Pokemon, how is that not fine? That's fine. So if you're out in public and you have your Game Boy, or even if you have your Switch and you're playing it out in public, don't ever feel ashamed. Because it doesn't matter how old you are, gaming is for everybody. And in this world, we have to realize that, like, no matter how old you are, no matter who you are out there, if it helps you and you want to do it, do it. Don't care about what people are. Those people, what you gotta understand is why people generally judge people in specific reasons is because number one, they're afraid of them. Number two, they don't understand. And number three, they are so conformed and old school that they don't want to be open to change. And you know what? Right when I stopped caring what people think, I realized I was more comfortable in my shoes, in my own skin. I was more comfortable with myself because I was out there and I was able to play Pokemon. I was out there and was able to play Animal Crossing. I was out there and I was out there to play games that were for little kids, but I enjoyed them. And you know what? Age doesn't determine what you can and cannot like. Like literally, games for everybody. It's all ages. I mean, some things are rated M, some things are rated T for teen, some things are rated everyone. But you know what? You play what makes you happy. Because these games, they take us on this journey, but they make us better people. And it's something I'm always going to cherish for the rest of my life. It's something that I'm always going to love. Because there's so many people out there who just don't care, you know? Who just don't want to help other people. And you see these characters in games and they're going through that same exact problem. Look on The Walking Dead. How many people were out there to help everybody? There's so many people out there that Lee could and could not trust. And he had to like go by instinct to stick with the people that he thought could help him or who could better him and like help him on his journey. And a lot of them did die and a lot of them got taken away from him. But in that moment's time, he was able to open up and find those people who he could stick with and consider a close family, a close-knitted family. Some people just play video games with each other for the rest of their lives and never meet in person. And sometimes video games make relationships happen online. Sometimes people find people who are like considered their best bros, people who consider them they're closer to them than they are with their actual family. And when people say, oh, you know, I'm a snobby snob, I'm not gonna be able to like video games because I think that they're not good enough for anybody. I think that you should be just doing that and you shouldn't be like video games. It's not good to play them. It'll hurt your eyes and make you stupid. Oh, I'm going to sip at my wine now and make fun of poor people. Oh. When people get like that and they consider video games like a source of just nonsense, it's ridiculous. Like, first and foremost, there's a lot more things that you can actually learn in video games than you can in books or movies or anything. And I, for one, I'm a big fan of young adult literature. That is my favorite type of genre out there. Like, I can name and talk about young adult literature all day. But people have to understand there's a lot of young adult literature that was actually inspired by games. There's a lot of movies that was inspired by games. And there's also a lot of anime that was inspired by games. And people sometimes don't understand gaming storytelling. And most people, you know, sometimes they're just... But seriously, the thing is with video games, what people have to understand, there's a certain way to tell a story. Literally, there's so much that you can learn, because I, for one, learned a hella ton. And you know what? I'm glad that I did start gaming and took it more seriously than I ever did before, because if I didn't, I don't know who I would be. People are quick to judge people, saying that if you don't go out, then you're not a human being. You're neat. You just stay in. You're just gonna be binge eating and just watching Netflix all day. What is wrong with you? Get a real job, blah, blah, blah. You guys know what that means. Whatever works for you as a human being, that's what should work for everybody. Nobody can actually tell you how to live your life. So if you want to do something with it, that's how you live it. That's who you are. And you don't have to be an extrovert. You don't have to go to parties. You don't have to do this or that. You can work from home. There's a lot of people who do work from home now. There's a lot of people who do work at like game devs. They do work from home or do voice acting from home. Sometimes people just have to understand that not everybody has to go out in the world, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you're comfortable inside your own little nest that you built for yourself, that's fine. Not everybody's gonna be a freaking party animal. Not everybody's gonna want to do this or do that. That's fine for you, because whatever works for you as a human being, that's what should work. And this is what video games teach us. It's like these lessons that they teach us, it's very humble. Video games are extremely humble. And why I say that is because I was not a very humble person before I started video games. Like in my teenage years, I was not humble at all. I had to humble myself. And when I started playing these video games, it taught me that like I had to humble myself, because there's always a humble lesson in the beginning of every game. And it's like, yeah, you could be shooting people, yeah, you could be killing zombies, yeah, you could be doing random things or just building in Minecraft. But the thing is, and the point is, you're using your mind, number one. Like, even if it's just a freaking money bag and they're alive and they're talking to you, it's like these creators, this came from somebody's heart. And when something comes from somebody's heart, like with The Last of Us, with Joel and Ellie, they came from somebody's heart. And Naughty Dog created them, like these creators and all the whole team created these characters. And they brought them to life, and then they sent them out into the world, and we're like, we're hoping that you do good, my children. And then they were front and center in our face, and then everybody loved them. So it's a very humble thing. It's like raising a kid. It's like you raise these characters up until they're good and ready, and then they're released in the world, and then everybody ends up loving them. And that's the beauty of gaming. There's a lot of people out there who just don't care about anybody, and just literally just want to do things for themselves, or just want to be on the big screen, or want to do something great. But with video games, time, effort, blood, sweat, tears, an entire team, probably arguments here and there, probably people who just want to like end up just leaving and going home and just crying in bed saying, why is this so hard? Why can't I make this character come to life? Why can't I do this? You got writers, you got actors, you got singers, you got musicians, you got freaking art designers, you got people, an entire game devs, you got directors, you got producers. This whole team, all this effort, it's not just one person, it's a team. And that's why it's so humbling with video games. When a game is presented to you and you get to play it, why it's so amazing is because it wasn't just made by one person, it was made by a family, by a team. And that's what's amazing about video games. So when people judge them and they say things like nobody should play them, or it should be banned, or no kid should ever be able to play video games, it's like, you know what? Stop for a moment, stop living in the past, and realize that video games are literally going to be our future, if they are not already. Video games are literally the stories of the future, and if they already are not, they affect so many people out there. And this is why it's so beautiful to be able to play these games, because I get to realize that. It took me a while to realize it, but no matter what, video games change lives, and video games are something that everybody should one day appreciate. If maybe video games aren't your cup of tea, but don't judge. Don't be quick to judge, because nobody's judging you for just liking to sip at your tea and, you know, having your country clubs. But anyway, guys, I want to know how video games changed your life. I would love to know your story. Please share it with me, because, you know, I'm very passionate about learning about you and being on this journey with you. Video games have not only changed my life, but they've made me a better person. And I hope they did that for you too. So if you guys have any stories to share, no matter what, feel free to send me a video. Feel free to write it down below. Feel free to tell me in the Discord. You guys name it. But always know that you should never feel uncomfortable to play a game. Outside, inside, nowhere. Because these are the games of the future. These are the games that teach us to be better people. And these are the games that change and save lives. But anyway, guys, don't forget to subscribe if you want more video game chats like this. I'm here for you guys to chat about anything gaming related, because this is what this channel is about. Comedy, gaming, everything that is fun and will brighten your guys' day. But anyway, Miss Cats, I hope you have an amazing day. Stay safe out there. As always, Miss Cats, until the next video, I'm Bryce, your fangirl, and you're a fanboy every single day.